Thanks for sticking with us this morning on Breakfast Central. We will now be telling you what the front pages of the papers are saying and giving you an opportunity to call in and react to any of the stories as well. Joining us this morning is Public Affairs Analyst Sesan Okunade. Good morning. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, good morning, Olive. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning. I had to do a double check on my calendar to see if today was Friday, because you're making us miss Friday.
Yeah,
giving Friday vibes.
Yeah. I decide to go the cultural way these days. Possibly put this on, look for some Ankaras, and getting tired of some of these.
This should be our corporate way. As Nigerians, this should be our corporate.
Except when I'm on official assignment, possibly that's when I want.
And it's very easy to wear, you know, relaxing. It's not like tying my neck, squeezing my neck like a goat.
I got tired of that, very sincerely speaking. Most of the time when I need to even put on a jacket like this, I want the shirt just free, not with a tie.
Yeah, I mean, we do that on Friday, but aside that, I was even proposing that we go on the African attire on Friday.
I'm sure you know why those things will not come on board is you come to this other opposite sex, when you give that liberty, I'm sure we won't be able to manage.
I mean, she'll be happy to.
She will be very happy, but just watch out.
What are you implying, Mr. Sesan Okunade?
No, I'm only conserving the savings of Benga in the light that the kind of outfit you be.
And if you wear too much Guinea brocade, you might go broke, you know.
Or I might decide to relocate to Guinea.
Or Guinea-Bissau. I'm not eating Guinea fowl.
Let's go to the papers this morning. On the front page of the first paper this morning, we have our Punch newspaper. The Punch newspaper this morning. Final salute. Nigeria bids Buhari emotional farewell. And you can see there, Tinubu, Akpabio, service chiefs, governors pay final respect amid tears tributes. Delra stands still as Katsina Airport records over 130 flights. Oshibajo, ex-governors join African leaders, Saudi King, Prince, mourn Buhari. We can see at the bottom of the paper there, Nigeria's oil output soars above OPEC quota.
Some good news there.
Exactly. North Central, when I saw N Central, I wanted to say New Central.
Yeah.
North Central states mobilize joint security to crush bandits. They better crush them, please. Over 420 federal roads completed or in progress, according to the federal government. And at the top of the paper, top right, we see Aujale's burial frees Yoruba kings from ritual slavery.
I mean, it depends on how you interpret it, because some are saying they are custodians of culture, and for them to be buried according to Islamic rites or Christian rites is a desecration of that culture. So the traditionalists are not happy with that. But we'll talk about that.
And maybe we can look into that as well, because there's also the tradition of Abobaku, the person who is designated to die with the king.
Yeah.
I heard, I cannot confirm, that the person was supposed to be buried. You know, you have jackals because life is sweet.
I mean, culture is very dynamic too. If
in 2025?
Yes, that we need to get rid of some harmful traditional practices.
After all, there was a time where if you had twins, they would kill them. And today, look at, we have Peace Square. So we need to get rid of certain cultures and practices.
Very true. And some headline there. Marketers protest as Dangote moves to crash cooking gas price. Why are you protesting? It's a good thing. Nigerians are not protesting.
Let's get Olusesan's view on it, and he can just talk.
Or maybe we can go through all the other papers.
Or let's go through all the papers.
Let's go through all the papers. Then we
choose an a la carte. It's a buffet.
All right, let's go to another paper.
A buffet of newspapers.
Exactly. Let's go to the next paper this morning. On the front page of Nigerian Tribune.
It says, the Patriots all-inclusive confab begins in Abuja.
And if you do recall, we did speak to one of the Patriots yesterday, Tolu and I. We had a conversation with Madam Ankyo Briggs, and they said it was meant to start yesterday, but it will start today, and they're discussing
they honor
the late president. So they will be discussing on critical issues and present their recommendations to the presidency to move Nigeria forward. Delegates said to discuss future of constitutional democracy, plan to draft people's constitution. They said the 1999 constitution was handed over to us by the military, and that it had zero input from ordinary Nigerians. They say it's faulty, and you cannot build on a false foundation. Sea of heads as Buhari's state funeral in Dara features full military honors. Tinubu, Shettima, Atiku, African leaders, governors, military leaders, ministers, family, others pay last respect. There you can see the pictures there on the front page of the Tribune newspaper. Some terrible news at the top there. Gunmen killed 27, yet again, destroy farms, burn several houses in Plateau community. It's almost like we're expecting bad news every week. When will this? You know, the president has given marching order, the president has commanded, the president has done this. What is really going on? And every other, yes, has condemned. This is terrible. This is a Nigerian lives, 27 lives.
Condemned was one of the most used words by the former late president.
Visa overstay, respect immigration regulations to host countries, federal government tells Nigerians. But what they're not also telling Nigerians is that the United States also wanted us to take Venezuelan deportees to host them. We've got problems of our own, you know. So imagine your neighbors being Venezuelan deportees. We're not even taking care of ourselves.
Wahala.
So that would be a big
we've got 99 problems, and Venezuela should not be part of our problems.
Dangote to wealthy Nigerians invest in Nigeria, Dangote says. Will Nigerians agree to that? Anyway,
Olive, Mr. Dangote is talking to you.
What did he say?
So you should invest, Mr. Okunade,
Well,
you guys should invest in Nigeria.
I've been thinking about it. I really do want to invest in the country.
Are you?
They are wealthy Nigerians.
My dear, I accept it and I receive it with all my heart. I am a wealthy Nigerian in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen. And I will invest in my country.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, if you see it's by prayer,
Well, I'm sure
Mr.
Okunade is already doing that. Same as myself. I'm already doing that.
You are doing that. You are wearing Western suit.
I'm already doing that. It's not by the suit. It's also by. But let's allow Mr. Okunade to react to these stories, and while we have them on the screen there to look at them intently for your view. Mr. Okunade, let's look at gunmen kill 27, destroy farms, burn several houses in Plateau community. That's a big story.
Yeah, Joe, sincerely speaking,
I'm sure we also have the footage as well to show.
Yeah, I think the other time during the headline news, it was showed to the people. I'm actually waiting for a day or possibly a week that will not have this kind of sad occurrence. And when I was listening to the correspondent from Jos, from Plateau, when she broke into tears to look at how people will just sleep overnight and the next morning you are just destroying houses, attacking them in their house. And I asked myself, are those people not identifiable? And the problem we have been faced with, if you asked me, is continuously there has not been consequences for all these acts that are being perpetrated by those people. And that on its own embolden them. People that are not in there yet, embolden them to do more, to like nothing will happen. Let me use that street language. Nothing will happen, we'll do it, and we'll have a free way to do whatever we are. In fact, as a matter of fact, a lot of politicians have been indicted, and none have actually been found culpable to say, these are the major sponsors of some of these perpetrators of this act. I listened to one of the governors, stating that those people that perpetrated this act are always indigenous of those states. Are they that difficult to identify? Because it is when you punish those that have perpetrated that act that it can serve as deterrent to others to actually carry out.
They're not ghosts.
The way we are looking at it, it seems they are ghosts. Because you've heard about these 27. Benga, we are not pessimistic or prophet of doom. Come next week, you have another story of this issue happening in another area. And we have the CSO of some of these states. What are they doing?
The last time Mr. President visited Benue State, he did wonder, he said it out loud, that why hasn't anyone been arrested? And a few days later, the Inspector General of Police came out and said, 20-something, quite a number of people were arrested, and you expect that to set an example, and then
they were arrested. They were arrested. What happened to them? If indeed this is actually happening, we will not see this happening repeatedly. It's becoming, I was laughing when you said myself and Olive should go ahead invest in the country. So if I have resources in Jos, you think I can stand my stand the risk of traveling there. I'm sure you will call me and say, Mr. Sesan, you know, I like you so much. I don't want a situation where you want to waste your life, because the level of insecurity is a threat to business growth.
People can't even go about their daily
business in that area.
Citizens living in IDP camps when they should be farming and going about their regular
and
business.
We want growth to happen. These are problems that we are faced with. An environment that is not secure, you cannot experience any growth in such an area. So you can imagine Jos is a place I visit very often years back. But these days it scares me to even go. You can move from Abuja to Jos, from Jos to Kaduna, all by road. But these days it's not. Look at the horrible saying that we're saying. People having their own sleep, and those things cannot just work out the way it should be. Is this happening? And I can tell you, like you said, Mr. President have given the marching order. We are not seeing anybody marching. Mr. President has condemned this act. Repeatedly, we still having it like every other day. Mr. President have done. What other different thing can we do? We have said it. Can we hold the state governors accountable by giving room for community policing, giving room for state policing, so that it won't be an instruction from the center? This that has happened at that particular state, the governor will not be running to Abuja to be giving Mr. President the report. We will hold him headlong to say this that has happened. Then he can decentralize the power to say, I am now at the helm of affair for this state. Security-wise, the local government should take responsibility. We cannot continue like this and expect growth to happen in our nation. A lot of people have invested, they have intention in investing in some of these states, but because of the security threat, you cannot just go that route. Businesses keep collapsing because even the people that you want to make use of there, if I intend to engage people in that state now, where is the sanity, the security for them to carry out their businesses? This is really disheartening, and I don't know the route that the government intends to go.
We've been doing this for years, and it seems nothing changes. It's really sad. But let's take a look at the Guardian newspaper and see what the headlines are saying. Leaders, friends, politicians unite in stately farewell for Buhari as the late president was laid to rest yesterday. Saudi Arabian Moroccan king mourn Buhari prays service to Nigeria. Dangote falls capital flight insists on investing in Nigeria. And talking about Dangote's refinery, Dangote's investments in Nigeria, it was in the news recently that the Dangote group just secured, or are in the process, they've done the paperwork for Deep Sea Port in Ogun State. So that's, it's not just talking the talk, it's also walking it and putting his money where his mouth is. Very emotional pictures there of the Buhari funeral. You could see Mr. President hugging Yusuf Buhari, and then that's the last picture. The bottom right is the Zamfara governor. He was really moved by the emotions, and he was in tears there. Lawyers bicker as EBAS inaugurates boards and commissions. The lawyers are saying you are just here for temporary, for a short while. You're the administrator, and you are making all those moves. What gives you the constitutional right to appoint RCEC chairman, inaugurate boards and commissions, especially after we've seen that peace has been brokered? We've seen Martin Zamewule smiling with the suspended governor and the minister of the FCT, and then he's getting very comfortable in his position. But if you want details of that, get a copy of the Guardian newspaper. Nigeria meets OPEC quota. First time in 5 months, falls short of 2025 benchmark. TikTok restricts 21 million offensive videos, removes 3.6 million from Nigeria. Wow, that's a
I need to know what constitutes offensive videos.
On TikTok.
I should look online and double check.
And Senate declines Natasha's recall, insists no binding order. So is the court's
one. So is the court exactly where's the role of separation of powers?
And where is the CTC?
Right? If the court gives a judgment or a ruling, and then the legislature, if the court, that is the judiciary, gives a ruling, and the legislature comes to say, you know what, this ruling, we cannot implement it. What does that say about the kind of democracy we're running?
You know, the democracy we are running is interesting, where separation of power is not respected. You're talking about judiciary and the legislator, about even the executive and the legislator themselves. They have no respect for one another. And one thing, you know, that I can link to this, when you were rolling the Guardian newspaper and pointing at Zamfara governor, you know, it's like, hardly will you see some of these our leaders had this deep thought. All those things are just for that period that those things are happening. Because if indeed they have that, their attitude towards the citizen will go much more better than what we are currently experiencing. Because we've said it times with that number, what's the fate of those that actually voted Natacha to represent them in Senate?
The constituency.
You know, the constituency. What fate are you actually giving to them? They don't have a representation, as we speak, in that particular Senate. So what will be their fate? What are you doing? What will she give as a give back? So you've said that even the voting of the people in that particular area is null and void. They are not well represented at the center. A lot is actually going wrong with our democracy, which calls for serious attention, if you ask me. Because when you wake up every day, the level of insecurity, the level at which individuals even take decisions, not minding the impact on the citizen they claim they are living, all because of their personal gain, is what gives so much. Every day by day, people, you read the other news where we were talking about government. Who on earth does the government think that people that are outside there in other countries, look at the highlights of what we listen to from South Africa. These guys are saying that nobody is happy staying outside this country. We want to stay within. But how can you stay in a country that your security is not guaranteed? You sleep and you cannot guarantee that you wake up on your own tomorrow without not being attacked. These are areas that government, and I've said it that all the reforms that we are actually talking about, I may not see a lot coming on board if the security issue is not addressed.
All right. Let's take Trudy calling from Lagos. Hello, Trudy. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Hello, Trudy. Are you there?
Yeah, I am here.
We need to hear you. Can you speak up a little more?
Okay, thank you very much.
Hello, Trudy, calling from Lagos.
Yes,
It doesn't seem like.
yes, I'm here.
I wanted to talk to Olive about this because we've seen precedents. It's not the first time.
Okay.
All right. Yes, we can hear you. Maybe we might just need to take the volume up from the studio here. Yes, go ahead. Trudy, go ahead. We can hear you.
I think there's a network issue there.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes,
we can.
yes. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. I was listening to your guest in the studio, and he was talking about the insecurity, what happened. You see, this country cannot go down very well unless we tell ourselves the truth. Why is it that this thing is happening in a particular zone, in a particular side of the country? Why is it not happening in the southwest or south or southeast? It is always in the north. You see, our leaders know what they are doing until we tell ourselves the truth, and that's the reality of the world. Then, on the issue of the late president who died, yes, we go with the family. Death is inevitable. Everybody must die. But people should try to leave a legacy. No president of America has ever died outside America or somewhere else. Our leaders, they will not put the hospitals in the order. They will not do anything. Even the three physical things they can't give us. There is no good health center. There is no power. There is no water. There is no food. There is no good road. Just education. Everything is down. But they are busy stealing Nigerian money. And when they die, people will come on television to defend them. He was good. He doesn't know. He was a good man. How dare you give somebody a job? You don't want to him or her. Who does that? Even a child in the kindergarten knows that he's this and that. We know all those things. And why would they resign if you are a president or a governor and you can no longer, the center can no longer hold? You can't do anything again. Why can't you resign and give space? Is it a crime of a president for a governor to resign? If it is a crime, they will be there messing it up more and more. Only God will make this nation go die fast. As I'm saying it, I don't think that this nation called Nigeria will work. Let us tell her, I don't think it will work. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Rudy, for calling. I think he said so many things, but the death of ex-President Muhammadu Buhari has really excavated a conversation about leaders who are leaving the country to go abroad for healthcare. Because you remember that during the time of his, during his time in office, he was characterized with frequent medical trips. And we've seen a repetition of that now with the current administration, even though a number of times they tell us it's not about a medical visit, it's a foreign trip, a working leave to France, working leave, and Nigerians have asked, what's the meaning of a working leave? So it feels like that has become the norm.
Olive, let's tell ourselves the truth. This will not stop. We are only picking hands on the president, even the governors. Most of the time, this will not come to the media. They have private jets. They don't need to go on commercial stuff to fly. So they leave in the morning, come the next day. You don't know anything happened. It's like the president, the governor, or even some of these top politicians have just visited the next state just for something, and they are just there for checkup. If they are there for 2-3 days, they have activities they have lined up that will keep everybody engaging, not even knowing that they are not around. We've said this. You see, while we were growing up, we grew up with these primary health centers that is even closer to the grassroots. We grew up with having good general hospital, where you'll be confident to say you will go there these days. And I ask myself, the foreign trips that they are actually embarking upon, a lot of people will tell you that it is still the same Nigerians, medical doctor, they are cautioning not to travel, that they are going there to treat them because they have better infrastructure to make those things work. It is not that they are actually using foreigners. It is the infrastructure that is actually provided by the government of those areas that our own citizens are using their intellectual. There is something for you to have good infrastructure. There's another thing to have the intellectual to plug into it. We have the capacity. The human capacity is there in our country. What we are lacking is build the infrastructure and see whether those people will not fit in. I'll put this as a side attraction. I was listening to your earlier guest when you are actually engaging him to say, sir, this issue of, he said, you go to the US and you put a call who you want to vote. And I asked myself, have you experienced failure with your internet infrastructure, where you're trying to even browse?
Beyond the internet, just the last election, is it not the same uploading of results that we had
cost
issues with
issue? So the infrastructure is not there, and that is an area that we need to address. If government is intentional of giving us this infrastructure, power, and you see, we'll continue to have grid collapse, because most of the time you see some of these guys that are creating this insecurity attacking some of this infrastructure. And that's why we say address the issue of insecurity. That is when we can enjoy those infrastructure. Look at the president that just died. People give credence that he did the second Niger bridge. But not too long, we heard about some of those things that's actually been dismantled, people moving certain things out of it. And we asked ourselves, this was what was given to this president as a credit. Not too long, we started asking about the decay of some of those infrastructure that were actually put in place without anybody checking on it. These are the gap that we are faced with as a nation. Fix security, build those infrastructure, and I can tell you who want to overstay in US that we're actually talking about. If this place is actually an home for you to be, a lot of people want to come home. The fundamental that they are scared of is security. People come in and they have to pay so much to get oddly, to get escort, to go to wherever they are going. Those things don't come cheap. We are those periods that I say boldly years back. I feel so comfortable to travel at night.
Of course, in the year 2000, I traveled from Lagos to Kano by road.
By road, and it's always at night. Even before I started driving to some of those areas, I want to go with some of these public transport at night. You feel so cool.
The road is smooth,
and you sleep all through, and you are waking up in the next day. You even don't want to try that by day, not to talk of at night again. When do we get back to the... And it's about security. You see, you talked about developing tax, developing power, developing... If you don't address this security issue, we go nowhere. Because the next thing we'll be hearing is that so much infrastructure have been built, and the next thing they've attacked it, and they brought it down.
Very sad development. But let's take a look at our final newspaper, the Daily Independent newspaper. The Daily Independent newspaper says they have a different headline. I was expecting. Cashew expansion drive. Investors eye 7.2 trillion naira inflow into the economy. Cashew is the new gold. I'm going to look into tapping into this ecosystem after the program. I'm going to do my research.
You need to invest.
I need to invest, exactly. Sets to reposition Nigeria's world largest producer, target production capacity of 2 million metric tons by 2030. And ahead, at the top of the headline there, end of an era of a man with many perspectives, Buhari, and why US, UAE slammed visa restrictions on Nigerians by the federal government. 17 years after spending 60 billion naira, digital switch over project still in limbo. Akwa Ibom seals $3.5 billion gas deal with NNPC and GACN. Great news there. And Dangote urges wealthy Nigerians to invest in the country. Tinubu bows before Buhari's remains as he laid to rest. And Ondo government firm to sign MOU on establishment of oil refinery. That's on page 7 of the Daily Independent newspaper there. So I guess, this is, we've had a lot of repetitions from, I guess, the biggest stories, the funeral of the late President Muhammadu Buhari. But looking at wealthy Nigerians, okay, you also talked on this issue that the biggest burden is security, but how is a Dangote able to do it?
If you ask Dangote, which he will tell you point blank, the operating cost of some of these activities don't come cheap. You might have the favor or the side of the government, as we speak, looked at the consistency on the path of government policy. I think we've had it a bit stable, but we'll still say, you look at that area, I hope it's not just a sensational headlines on the cashew expansion drive, because I asked myself, is cashew an IT inclined business, or is still the same planting that the farmers cannot even have access to the farm that we're talking about? If it is about agricultural produce, where we keep having attacks and a lot of people that are supposed to do the farming are in IDPs, I ask myself how the growth would definitely... You see, there are certain things that you can put on paper when you write feasibility report of the potential a particular thing can actually offer to you.
And its value chain.
You know? And when it comes to the implementation of some of those things, it becomes a bit difficult to actually carry out. Which speaks to that. I will continue to reiterate that we need to have a secured environment. A lot of our vast land are actually there, but people are just scared to invest because there is no guarantee.
We also have a lot of unemployed youth who can be channeled into...
Of course, when those investors are out there and they have the confidence that their investment is secured, definitely there will be increase in the area of employment. You want to employ people to actually do the work. But situation where we've seen instances, even in our southwest, people will actually come back to the country to invest in agricultural produce, and all of a sudden you have an attack, even from the people they have engaged their services to work for them on the farm, and the next thing you hear is that they've gone, and people will just see the next available flight, the family are out of the country. It still speaks to the level of insecurity, and this we must take with all seriousness if we must grow our economy as a
apart from
nation.
insecurity, we also, I was speaking to an expatriate yesterday, and to someone who was part of the Mayor of London's delegation to Nigeria for a business trip. And they said he had to pay £500 for his visa. I mean, if you are encouraging people to invest in Nigeria, you don't set those kind of barriers. You have to make the ease of business. You have to make it easy for people to do business, remove all those bureaucratic bottlenecks. I heard that applying for a Nigerian visa is so cumbersome, the things they ask you for, the forms, you have to go back, you have to dedicate a whole day into doing it. When in other countries, you could just go online, fill e-visa forms.
Which other countries are we talking about?
E-visa forms.
You
I
see,
mean,
what
Uganda.
Benga is saying
I
is
mean,
shocking to me
if you're going
because
to Uganda and
So we're talking about African countries,
Kenya,
right?
Kenya, for example. Yes.
Except we're talking about some of the African countries.
Yes.
Because if we're looking at
Even
some
for expats, it's easier for them to even move around Africa because it's visa on arrival for most of them. For citizens of America, Canada, and most European countries, they just show up at the airport, it's visa on arrival, pay a small fee and get in. But Nigeria, you need a proper visa. We tried to do the visa on arrival thing, but it didn't work. But I heard the Minister of Foreign Affairs is trying to perfect the e-visa system where you can fill in your details online and then get an e-visa.
shout out to
well,
Kenya.
Travel.
Benga.
So we need to also look at things like that, those little things that make life harder for investors. And
yeah, I'm just wondering, Benga, when you said there are challenges with the ease of doing business, I know that was one of the mantra of the last administration, with the current one are actually building on to tell you that all the bureaucratic setting, and it's part of the things we tell individual. Paper report is quite different from practicality. It's the people that gives you the feedback to let you know whether some of those things you claim are actually working. I'll give kudos to the Minister of Interior. It's not against say a lot of people, confirm, testify to the ease of having their passports being done and what they have actually trickled out. And I will say this, that the best way to know whether somebody is performing is when civil servants don't like you. That means you are eating hard on them in some of the things that they are doing. And I think that's what is actually happening in that particular area.
and
So people must testify.
There will be continuity.
It's part of the things we learn. It's part of the things we learn. And that's why people like us, we continue to challenge the civil service. Tunji Ojo will leave, possibly after this administration. And that's why you have an urge, which you have a permanent secretary or whosoever DG is leading that particular agency or person to carry on after that. What becomes of some of those things that this man, we should not build a system around an individual. It should be a system that will work whether you are there or you are not there.
Okay, let's hear from Raymond as we wrap up the show this morning. Raymond calling from Lagos. Good morning, Raymond. Thanks for calling. Please go ahead quickly with your comment.
Good morning, President Nigeria. The issue we have in this country, if you have an angel to rule Nigeria with this system of government, not work. Let's stop deceiving ourselves. If Tinubu leaves tomorrow and you bring another person as these 80 people are planning, the problem remains. Until we work on our system. Imagine in Ojo local government in Lagos, if you have an Aliyu as a police DPO from Borno, how will you manage it? So look at what your guest just saying about Tunji Ojo. If you have a Ojo in the southwest doing it, you have another one in the northwest doing it. With the Nigeria not move forward, until this country is decentralized, no individual man can put Nigeria with the system. Secondly, the people in government, that is local politicians, some of them are benefiting from this crime. And no individual who will need their vote in the next election to president or who want to attack them. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much. Just points to what you were saying. That it's not about the individuals, but that
have a
system needs to
system.
be fixed.
Yeah.
Even if you remove one person and you bring another person, if there's a flawed system, the system will continue to thrive. And it's why we hear a
We
number
need
of
stronger
times.
systems and institutions.
Exactly.
Yeah, than individual.
But who makes the systems and the institutions? It is
It's
still
the individuals, yeah.
It's a, which one comes first?
And that's why,
Chicken and the egg.
yeah, that's why we always say that the civil servant play a critical role because they are there. The other appointees, either minister, DG, they are there on appointment with a specific tenure. So when they leave, if there are good things that they have actually built, and that's why it's difficult for people to invest because of the inconsistency. So you see somebody that is there putting those right track, and that's why I told my friend, who is the chairman of the tax reform, to say you've had a very wonderful package. What becomes of it when you are no longer there?
That's it.
And some people already see the loophole, and they will capitalize and pull us back
To where we
10 years behind where we started from.
Right.
And that is the problem we are faced with as a nation. We should not build things around individual,
But build
teach
around-
people, you know, some of those things and build a culture. Have a value proposition that speaks to the. That's what works with some of those developed clients that we are all actually going. Not about a single individual that build those things.
Sometimes I also beg to mention that some of these developments are made to be so strong that even if there's a shift in terms of power, in terms of another administration, they cannot help but continue that
With it.
With it, they must.
Even
not.
if it is different
Even
party
if
that
it's a
is
different
coming
person,
in.
it's like it's put on that law that you must.
Yeah, you look,
and
you
all that.
look
but-
at President Trump, for example, is trying to turn things on their head.
Which
but
is
because
hard.
of strong institutions.
Yeah, it's finding it
understand
difficult
why
to
it
carry
is
some of those
difficult,
things.
yeah.
All right, we have to
Thank
go,
you so
gentlemen.
much. Thank you
so much.
It's a pleasure to
Thank you,
start the
Sesan.
Wednesday.
Great
with you.
analysis.